One of my very favorite foods of all time is soup. Soup is so great. It's an easy way to get extra nutrients from vegetables, and it's very, very filling because it's a liquid. So I love to start as many dinners as I possibly can with soup, just so I feel nice and cozy and full by the end of dinner. So today I'm gonna be showing you how to make super green soup. Now, don't let the title fool you. It is the most delicious, creamy, hearty soup. It just happens to be green. In fact, I bet you if you were blindfolded when you ate it, you'd have no idea what color it was. All right, I'm gonna show you how to make this. First, you wanna turn your heat to about medium-high, nice big pot just like this one. Start by just adding about a teaspoon or so of oil. As I said before, not a super healthy food, even olive oil, so we just wanna keep it minimal. So let's see here, a little bit of water here. Once we get that nice and hot, we will add about a half of an onion that's been roughly chopped. You can do yellow or white onion, it doesn't matter, they're both great. Just want to get a little bit of color on the onion, saute it until the edges start to turn a little bit of brown. Now you'll see in a lot of my recipes on audreydunham.com that I use a lot of onion powder to try and take shortcuts whenever I can. I'm all about keeping things as convenient as possible, but sometimes there's nothing that replaces a true, real onion. If you haven't checked out my video on the best way to chop an onion, please do so. It makes life so much easier. Just want to saute for about 5 minutes or so. The onion is looking pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. All right, about 4 cups of broccoli going in. Next, we have some garlic powder here. You can use fresh garlic if you like, but 1 or 2 cloves, but I'm gonna take a little shortcut here and use some garlic powder, about a half a teaspoon. Salt and pepper. We need about 1 full teaspoon of salt. Unless you want a low sodium, you can do less. And only about 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Little goes a long way. And lastly, we have spinach. You can do frozen spinach if you like. You can do 1 full cup of frozen spinach or 1 giant handful of fresh spinach. This spinach really adds an extra little layer of flavor and it adds a punch of nutrients. I mean, this soup in general, spinach and broccoli, they are 2 of the healthiest vegetables you can possibly eat, mainly because they're loaded with all sorts of nutrients, plus fiber and protein. Stir this all together, looking really glorious. And all you're doing here is wilting down the spinach. The goal is just to cook the broccoli for about 3 minutes or so. It'll be a nice bright green color when it's ready to go, and all of the spinach will be wilted. It's looking pretty good, nice bright green. This broccoli has started to soften a little bit, which is what we want, so now we can add the liquid. About 2½ cups. You can do vegetable broth or just plain old water. Either way, this soup is going to be amazing. Just going to bring this liquid to a boil and then it's ready to transfer to our blender. While we're waiting, let's make our buttered toast croutons. A couple pieces of bread. Oh, our toast is done. As you know, with toast, it's always best to butter it right away to make sure that that butter melts while it's still warm. I actually use a non-dairy butter, but I only use a tiny little bit because even the non-dairy butters are loaded with saturated fat. So we just go super light, just enough to get that nice buttery little taste on there. Cut it into croutons. Not the prettiest chopping job I've ever done, but we'll just call it rustic, right? Now we just need to transfer into our blender. Using a ladle is pretty much the only way to do this without burning yourself. Pour that last little bit of liquid in there. It's okay if you splash. No one will judge. And there you go. Okay, look at how creamy and beautiful that already looks. Grab our little bowl. Just pour it right in. It makes about 3 big bowls or 5 cups, this recipe, and you can always double it if you want to make enough for the week. Buttered toast croutons right on top. Take a look at that. Bright green, loaded with nutrients, so satisfying. Trust me on this. This is a soup you have to try. If you decide to, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think.